Chapter 753, Rational Franca. Facing Franca's probing, Lumion raised an eyebrow and said, "I've again come across something important that I need to tell you." Franca eyed Lumion suspiciously, unsure whether he was playing a prank or had actually discovered something new. Given the frequency of his discoveries, it seemed a bit much, didn't it? Just this morning, he had returned from the Blue Avenger, having completed an initial exploration that yielded the formula for the Demoness of Despair potion, a sword of courage equivalent to a Grade 1 sealed artifact, and a specially significant corpse, wax candle, important findings. And now he had more gains in the afternoon. Ultimately, Franca chose to believe Lumion. After all, he had proven himself a harbinger of chaos on multiple occasions. She stepped aside to let him into the living room. "What's it about this time?" Franca asked gravely as she closed the door. Lumion stood by the window, back to the outside, and said seriously, "Do you remember Mr. Hanged Man's description of Harrison?" "I remember. He might appear in places closely linked to darkness, death, dusk, and decay," Franca replied, the oppressive atmosphere stifling her usual retort of not having forgotten what was discussed just that morning. Lumion nodded and continued, "I had some free time, so I went to the catacombs. I met with the administrator guarding the Samaritan Women's Spring area. He told me that recently, an outsider tried to approach the spring but was stopped by him. This outsider's features are quite different from anyone from the northern continent." Franca, initially confused, shivered instinctively and blurted out, "Harrison? Was the man with the eastern features that Jenna and I met actually Harrison?" She immediately recalled her and Jenna's adventure at the Cremona Night Pillar. In her urgency, she replaced the more complex description of non-North Continent-bearing features with Eastern features. "It's very likely," Lumion nodded slowly. Franca was taken aback. Resurrection Island, Resurrection Island. Her lake blue eyes sparkled with excitement and anticipation. She asked for confirmation. Could Resurrection Island be a node where the two worlds converge? "Even if it's not, it's probably closely related to your world," Lumion said, not wanting to dampen her spirits. Franca paced back and forth excitedly, then wailed, "Why didn't I recognize him then? Why didn't I capture him? Now he's gone and we don't even have a starting point. The eternal blazing sun church is too slow, not a single piece of feedback." After Franca vented her frustration, Lumion calmly said, "You can't blame Seven and the others for being slow. Harrison might no longer be in Trier." Franca pondered aloud. "I'll announce this at the Research Society, meeting so members in different areas can watch out for anyone resembling Harrison." Before Lumion could caution her, Franca muttered to herself, "I'll tell them not to seek the island until we find Harrison and obtain detailed information about Resurrection Island. It's too dangerous. If they spot Harrison, they shouldn't rush to recognize him or approach him. Pretend they haven't seen him and notify President Gandalf, the chairman, Madame Hella, and us." Lumion listened intently and then playfully complimented her. "I thought you'd be too excited to think straight. But surprisingly, you, who usually seem carefree and not too thoughtful, have considered everything quite thoroughly." Franca wasn't provoked. She replied with a smug grin, "What do you call that? La a quarter doin' is never muddled in major matters. If I have to think hard all the time, wouldn't that negate the point of relaxing?" "That made some sense," Lumion asked, puzzled. "Who's La a quarter doin'?" "No need to know," Franca answered decisively. Lumion guessed the reason and didn't press further, simply nodding. "We'll share this at the gathering in 2 days." Franca hummed in agreement, then her excitement and joy vanished, her body trembling slightly. "What's wrong?" Lumion asked with concern. Franca pressed her lips together, speaking softly. "I'm excited about the truth and what the future might hold, but I'm also afraid it won't meet my expectations. I'm scared of facing an answer I can't handle." After speaking, Franca leaned on the windowsill as if drained of strength. Lumion offered no comfort, his look one and the same as that Madam Magician had when she looked at him: pity. He too feared that the hope for resurrection he so desperately pursued might just be an unattainable illusion. After a moment, Lumion asked, "Want to have a drink?" "Sure," Franca responded with a complex smile. Getting drunk might help me forget these worries. Ah, typical brotherly comfort offering a drink. 2 days later, Franca met with Demoness of Black Claris at a hunting ground on the edge of the East Logness Forest, as agreed. The demigod-level Demoness had swapped her usual black court gown for dark hunting attire and a black hat that covered her long hair, giving her an air of dashing elegance and freshness. Compared to her previously melancholic beauty, Madame Claris now radiated a different kind of allure, equally captivating and splendid. Franca eyed the Demoness of Black with appreciation, suppressing the desires that instinctively arose, and relayed the intelligence on the mirror people that Seven had provided in detail. Claris nodded gently, her smile bright as she took a wooden, burgundy-colored briefcase from her horse. "This is your reward," said the Demoness of Black as she handed the case to Franca. Franca did not hesitate, thanking her as she unlatched the metal fasteners and opened the modest-sized wooden briefcase. Inside, the case was divided by pristine ice blocks showing no signs of melting, each compartment containing a bat's head with colorful markings, a gallbladder oozing blood and green bile, a bifurcated tail covered with sleek, sinister scales, and 2 types of dark red blood in glass vials. Affliction's main ingredient and most of the supplementary ingredients are here. If you're not ready to advance, don't try to break the ice I've crafted. That would only infect the bearer with various diseases and lead to a slow death, warned the Demoness of Black. "Thank you, Madame." Franca quickly counted what supplementary ingredients were still needed. All that was missing was the fairly common Enfinitas eucalyptus. Demoness of Black Claris commented, "You're very efficient and effective in your tasks. Perhaps in another year or 2, you'll be ready to attempt opening the gate to godhood. But then, we won't reward you with the formula and ingredients for despair. Instead, we'll inform you of the advancement ritual in advance. Once you're nearly ready, we'll simply give you the despair potion." "Is this to prevent high-sequence potion formulas from being leaked?" Franca asked, understanding dawning on her. The Demoness of Black nodded. "Once you earn the right to have a color precede your title, you'll truly access the high-sequence potion formulas and some of the sex secrets. I also want to obtain the Demoness of Unaging potion formula from you all, but without becoming a Demoness of Unaging, I probably can't have a color precede my name. No matter, having prior knowledge of the ritual to see if it's wicked or not is sufficient." Franca didn't hide the anticipation in her expression. She then steered the conversation back to the investigation of the mirror people. "Madame, to what extent should we pursue the mirror people? Is it enough to thwart their plans and eliminate those who have escaped from the special mirror world? We couldn't possibly enter that special mirror world and eradicate their leaders and their foundation while 4th Epic Trier's seal remains intact, could we?" Franca was probing the Demoness sect's ultimate goal regarding the mirror people, trying to gauge the state and thoughts of the primordial Demoness. Claris looked at her and said with a refreshing smile, "Let's do what we can for now. When you've advanced to affliction, we'll tell you more." Becoming a Demoness of Affliction means entering the core circle of the Demoness sect, eligible to learn some secrets. Franca was both excited to be drawing closer to the secrets of the Demoness sect and completing tasks, and somewhat anxious. Late at night, in a quarry cave in underground Trier, Angel Atilde A.M.E. de Francois, dressed in a brown woolen coat and wearing a gold brooch, entered this dormant area carrying a carbide lamp. His right sleeve was rolled up, revealing a glass syringe tied around his elbow filled with a cloudy white liquid. Behind him followed 4 or 5 purifiers, each with a similar syringe on their arms. Surrounded by the purifiers were 4 tall iron-gray steam robots, responsible for carrying an item over 2 meters long and about 6 feet wide. The item was covered with a red flannel cloth, hiding any details. Angel Atilde A.M.E. stopped in the middle of the quarry, gesturing for his teammates to halt as well. The iron-gray steam robots then set the item on the ground. As the flannel cover was lifted, a beautifully crafted, classical-looking bed was revealed, making Angel Atilde A.M.E. and his team feel tired and drawn to its inviting comfort, wanting to lie down for a good sleep. Angel Atilde A.M.E. quickly looked away, and, using the hand holding the carbide lamp, push the plunger of the syringe, injecting more of the liquid into his body. Following similar actions from the other purifiers, a figure in a black nun's outfit suddenly emerged from the other side of the quarry.